It's time to get into our pre-game. That doesn't look like a very Mad Lion outside, but it is gold, so at least it matches the logo as they go up here at Twickenham Stadium. Not on the field, in the bowels where we are in our Flashpoint studio. Still nice, though, still nice. And they will be playing up against Dignitas VIE. So, coming into this match, we talked over the lineups just a little bit. We'll go over them one more time for those of you just tuning in as we take a look at each of these individual teams and the pieces that they have changed or added since the last season. First up, as you can see, our group here, Midsommar, is Dignitas, Mad Lions, Fnatic, and Contact. So, a lot of changes. You know, Fnatic, they've been rolling for a little bit with this lineup, but everyone else has made quite significant alterations immediately prior to Flashpoint 2. Who has the most hype for you guys? Which is the most hype lineup coming in?
Aside from Fnatic, of course.
Yes, aside from Fnatic.
I have to say, I think it is the Mad Lions. Like, not just because of the result yesterday. Like, put that aside. Like, that might just be a one-off. Who knows? But you just look at the squad. C.R.A.E is probably, I'm going to say, aside from Fnatic players, the absolute best player in this entire group. Way but overqualified to be on Mad Lions at this point in time. They have some of the pieces of a team that already won the tournament.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Contact. Maybe Flashpoint 1 hopes and dreams are still within me, but in Flashpoint 1 I mentioned Esperanto. I think he's such a stud in the server. His mechanics are top-notch, man. It was
you
him,
hyped up everybody
Calix,
on Contact.
and Mihu. Yeah, no, listen, these three players I'm keeping my eye out on. I think they've got killer instinct in that server. They've got Counter-Strike injected in their veins, Duncan.
Listen, those ships have sailed.
Yeah, exactly. The ship's hype was so real last time. He is still a substitute on this roster, I believe, but yeah, I think the Contact was quite disappointing in Flashpoint 1. They came in with this reputation, oh yeah, we're going to be the firepower, right? We've got the star fraggers, that's how we're going to win, and they just sunk immediately. There was very little hype available to us, so I'm hoping that at least we get a little more life out of them this time in Flashpoint 2.
Yeah, well, the big thing for me is they didn't have a proper IGL. Like, Emmy, I think it was doing it at that point in time. He's IGL'd at the lower level, but to beat teams like MIBR, even where Mad Lions was at, that was a stretch anyway, and they didn't even make playoffs. So when they made the swap to Snappy now, Snappy is a quality in-game leader. I mean, he actually played the first match at Flashpoint, but then less said about that, the better. So if you remember, though, I mean, I know Potter's a big fan of him. He's obviously done work in that heroic squad. I mean, last year, Epicenter, they've had many, many results. So he's used to this level. In fact, he's played against some of these players in his team now on the other squad. So if I'm going to take anyone to have the experience to maybe start to mold those very, very raw pieces, I think he's a good pick.
Excellent. Well, as we look forward to that match, we'll be doing some more pre-show analysis later on in the day. However, right now, we got to focus back onto our Dignitas VIE versus Mad Lions matchup as we go through each of these rosters and pick out some of the players for us to talk about. First up, let's take a look at some of the gameplay that we've seen from Mad Lion as well as their roster. We haven't had a lot of footage on the new team yet. And this is going to be all the way back from Flashpoint 1. C.R.A.E, I know, Christine, you were very hyped on this guy in Flashpoint 1. Has he held up over the course of 2020 for you?
Movement God, Monty. Movement God. I think C.R.A.E's got some of the slickest, swiftest movement in the game right now, and I think that actually gives him an edge in that server. Now, he wasn't the superstar. We got to be honest. Mad Lions, Bubsky was the superstar in Flashpoint 1. Now with Bubsky out of the way, sure, it's a big miss, but C.R.A.E's got a lot more freedom now. He's going to have to step up to the plate and really showcase why he's the heavy hitter on this team. He's going to have some more freedom with the resources. They're not going to be going all towards Bubsky. They should be kind of funneled towards C.R.A.E, towards Shush. These are going to be the new heavy hitters, the new superstars on this lineup. And honestly, if you're getting headshotted by Shush and you see that picture pop up on your screen, his little profile picture, you're going to get tilted. So Shush already has a little bit of an edge, I think.
Yeah, and it's funny that all of these players did compete in Flashpoint 1. It's just Refresh and Hooksy were on our worst team overall, which was the Copenhagen Flames. So it's weird that we've had the champion combine with the 12th place team into the existing Mad Lions roster. But you know what? We've seen some very good pieces, such as Tessus, who is competing on that Copenhagen Flames roster, go to Heroic, vault up to potentially the #1 team in the world right now. So there was at least some level of talent there, and it's whether Refresh and Hooksy can live up to what Tessus has done on another roster.
Yeah, that's the thing for me is like when you bring in these players for essentially the other big tournament of the entire year. Yes, some of the other ones had better teams in them, but the prize money, the scale of what it can mean for your career to win a tournament like this isn't one move, despite what you saw in some of the other groups, where you just bring in a guy and go have a stand-in, we won't do a team. They're trying to make this their real squad. They want this to have the same success they had at the other one, where they brought in a Cillian, and again, that wasn't like, well, we're going to ramp up over the next week. It's like, no, we're coming to win this tournament. So I actually want to see cohesion from the Mad Lions guys. I'll echo what Potter said. I actually thought A-Core's big problem was he was absolutely money in the bank right until the big pressure games where all the matches were on the line, essentially. In that scenario, there is no Bobski. So I'm looking at A-Core now. The skills are there, but is the mindset there? Does he have the killer instinct? Because in this team, I agree. He should just get everything, and it should be on his back.
Yeah, he did have a fantastic performance in the group stage where Bubsky was a little more quiet, but those roles really reversed as we saw the Heat come in during the playoffs where A-Core, it wasn't like he was terrible, but he just wasn't making the impact frags in the same way that Bubsky was when it really, really mattered.
Right, and I'd also want to see how he reacts here because you mentioned Peacemaker earlier, and he's such an integral part of Mad Lion's success. He loves to anti-strat. The guy is studying demos time and time again. We saw it yesterday versus Fnatic. Lions absolutely knew exactly what the Fnatic guys were going to bring to the table. This time around for Dignitas, there's no information. As I mentioned, they've got one match on Nuke weeks ago with this 5, and the rest 0, 0, 0, 0, nothing, no demos, nothing to work with. So how is A-Core going to react? Obviously, he's got the skills to get him out of those tense situations, but without a clear vision, potentially, of what Dignitas are going to bring to the table, is he going to go back to that resort to the defaulty turtley, just play it safe, play it by the numbers, play his percentages, or are we going to see him step up to the plate and be the superstar that Lions need?
So Dignitas VIE, again, we don't have a lot of hardly any footage on them. They're in a similar position to what we saw from Envy yesterday. So we can take a look at their upgraded roster that many of you will be seeing for the first time here at Flashpoint 2. Old favorites, of course, Freiburg going to be returning alongside Forrest. Hallzerk, a player that they've been playing with for the last year or so, coming into this game. And this is, their time to shine. As Thorin, you mentioned, there have been a lot of excuses for this Dignitas VIE roster so far throughout 2020. First it was, oh, we have to have a stand-in. Oh, we're a LAN team. Oh, we've got to make these roster changes. Now we're going to mix the old blood with the new. At some point, there has to be a level of responsibility taken for the performance of this team.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. You saw the guy who started the highlight package. People love that confirmation bias of like, oh, let's celebrate the old great play. Forrest has still got it. He can frag with anyone in the world. Mad Lions isn't even considered a top 10 team. They actually, aside from A-Core, no world-class players in that lineup. So, okay, go ahead. Here's a best of 3. Just go off. You go, King. Let's preach.
That's right. It is definitely a put up or shut up moment for Dignitas VIE when it comes to their performance here in Flashpoint 2. And as we look forward here, we are going to, see this roster take the stage. So the new players, C.R.A.E. and Heath. Not much known about these guys overall. We don't have a great read. Have you guys heard any rumblings, rumors about their performances?
I've been hearing a lot about this Heath character. I mean, I was so kind of taken back because usually when you look up the history of a player, there's at least something. There's at least some sort of breadcrumbs that you can follow the trail. For Heath, there's just absolutely nothing. So I had to do some digging. Apparently, he's literally just a pug star.
Right.
He's a pug star, and generally, I would say that that's not the best type of player for a team that relies so much on their set pieces, relies so much on their utility. But the fact is Heath apparently, he's doing really well in scrims. He's listening in on the comms. And that's important, is being able to digest the information that these veterans on your squad is giving you so that you can calculate what your next move is going to be. Now, Heath hasn't been in the one demo that I watched. He's not the superstar in the one match. But from what Vendetta is saying, man, he's got a lot of promise. And in scrims, at least, he's blowing up. So,
well, let's take a look at these maps, too, because as we talk through them, we can get a more specific take on how these teams are going to operate. Because if we remember back to Flashpoint 1, Dignitas VIE, they liked the more tactical maps. Nuke was a map that they performed well on with a lot of these executes and set pieces. Are they going to be able to hold up that style when you have two of these younger, less accustomed players to, deep strat books on the roster?
Absolutely, I think so, because right off the bat, Dignitas, we know they're going to be vetoing out that Mirage, and actually Lions generally veto out that Dust too. So these are both the buggiest maps out the window right off the gate. Now, my biggest questions coming into this veto is going to be, will Lions pick Nuke? Because Dignitas also lean onto that Nuke. I think Nuke is going to be heavy in contention. Yesterday, Lions and the series before that actually leaned onto the Vertigo, and Dig aren't the greatest on that map either. I think Lions... they should have the edge in this veto.
Yeah, the interesting thing for me, obviously, is we still have so little data on these newer lineups that you can't really go back to the old classics. Like, for example, do I actually want, with players who've never played any games ever competitively in the professional scene, to play a map like Train? Like, that's not as simple as it sounds. You know, you can have watched every demo and played every Face It Pog you want, plug there for you. But that's very different when you play a real match. And also, Mad Lions is no slouch. Like, if a map's in the pool, they're going to be prepared for it.
Absolutely. And, you know, actually, speaking about the strat-heavy maps, Monty, I want to see Dignitas coming out here and picking Inferno first. Pick Inferno first. I know that it's a map that everyone is super familiar with, but I also think Inferno is a map that you don't always have to be 10% better in your shooting areas to win. You can have the utility game, you can have the fundamental game, and actually have the edge on this map. So I'm looking at Inferno, I'm looking at Nuke.
There's another angle as well, which is if you're Mad Lions and you really did prepare and you had these players a while ago, you've done all your maps, do you want to punish? Like, do you want to do a crazy pick like Vertigo, something outrageous? Maybe they've never played it before officially. Maybe they only play it a couple of times in scrims. It's not actually an ideal map to scrim usually. You have to find someone who's good on it. So at the moment, Dig goes with Overpass. Again, actually, wasn't really a map they used as much last season, but again, it is a more strat-heavy map. It's going to be one where those newer guys are going to have to be very much up to speed.
Overpass is such a large map too, and actually if we think back to Flashpoint 1 Copenhagen Flames, Overpass was the map that they absolutely impressed.
Yeah, that's true.
Mean, that was the map that Tessus was just blowing up. Hushi, his game plan looked to be very fast-paced, so I do like the pick coming out of Dig because it's such a large map. You can really create some chaos. Both of these squads being newer to the table, it should prove to be an exciting one.
As Christine said earlier, Nuke is the obvious pick for Mad Lions here. Like, remember, when you don't know what the opponent plays, just go into comfort for yourself. And I even think stylistically, Nuke and Train are the ones I put up there as. If you've never played professional Counter-Strike, you are going to find it's very different when you play these particular maps. So that was a map even the old Mad Lions actually got better and better on throughout the tournament. It really fit their style on the T side. So I'm looking to Hooksy. Let's see what you got here, mate.
Dignitas have to get rid of this Vertigo. They've got to get rid of this Vertigo. Don't let Lions lean onto it in the next round. And Train should be out as well.
Inferno feels like an obvious more middle ground, you know. It's not the most strat-heavy map. It's certainly not one where you're just going to pog entirely. It's got that hybrid quality where it depends on how the game's going, depends on what your personnel is. So I actually think if we get to the decider, it'll really tell us how their teams conceive of themselves, like what sort of a team they expect to be.
I'd say I am really surprised that we're getting Nuke and Overpass here for teams that are kind of debuting these new rosters. Even though Mad Lions has more veteran players, they're trying to take Hooksy's play calling system and then put it into effect with the majority of the rosters from the old Asilian Hunden system. So I am a bit shocked that they were choosing these maps and Dignitas going for another tactics-heavy map like Overpass.
I also think, like, the crazy thing for me is, like, I could see on both sides why you might do other maps. Like, if I'm Dig, well, since we've got this brand new lineup, let's just make it easy. Play Mirage. It's the POG map everyone plays, especially when Dust 2 is out. So, in theory, that's just about have your game on. Everyone knows the set routes. You can somewhat neutralize super heavy tactics because there's not that many that can be invented at this point in time. So, it's actually quite bold that it looks like the teams are saying, we're just going to our strengths and then let's see who's better.
Yeah, and I don't know that Lions would actually lean onto Mirage until they can get refreshed to the point where Bubsky it was. Because on the T side, especially on Mirage, Bubsky, again, had so much responsibility. So as they go on, that should be a map that they'll be able to incorporate into their map pool as soon as Refresh gets comfortable on this squad.
Well, if I'm Hooksy and Refresh, I'm actually smiling at that Dignitas Overpass pick because, like you said, that was the map that Copenhagen Flames looked very comfortable on in Flashpoint 1. So should be an area where they can excel or at least lead Mad Lions into a better performance.
Yeah, and especially because Overpass just leaves you with so many holes. As I mentioned, it's such a large map, and especially now in this online era with everyone taking duels everywhere, and as soon as that contact happens, people are mobile as fuck, right? So on this huge map of Overpass, it leaves a lot of holes. So, I mean, if Refresh is feeling, again, good and comfortable on that lurk row, which he did look on in Flashpoint 1, he's going to be able to find him.
All right, well, let's take a look at two of our players as we focus in on this series. Up first, we've got Freiburg moving back into the IGL position, taking over for some of his old teammates like Exist, and A-Core, he needs to step up. As we said, he didn't play as well as we expected in high-pressure situations, and with Bubsky gone, somebody needs to be the shining star of the Mad Lions.
Well, the key thing here, though, is luckily he has a warm-up match, because listen, Holzerk had all that hype, and a lot of it was just in online qualifiers early in 2020. It's not like when they have played in the rare tournaments they do, that he's posting like the most godly numbers that you have to go and look at. He's still a good player, but the difference is A-Core is somewhat battle-tested now. So I actually want to see the AWP matchup in terms of when I look at the A-Core side of the equation.
And not only that, A-Core has so many creative little boosts that he actually gets his entire squad behind. So on Nuke, you're going to see him boosting towards that ramp. You're going to see him getting boosted towards the secret. And it just gives a different angle, a different look. And the defenders are always caught off guard by it, even if they know the timings are different. And A-Core is really good at just being finesse in those moments.
Well, speaking of players who have always been boosted, Freiburg, of course, our other player to watch here. Now, you can watch him in perhaps a profile segment that'll be coming up between map 1 and map 2. I'm actually looking at him in this sense. I don't care that they say he's the IGL. Vendetta's behind you. He's your coach, and he can help you. That's not really like I'm just going to judge you on the tactics there. Some of it I'll give some credit in that sense. I just want to see some fragging. Like, if you played all the different roles, you've been all around the town, you're not doing where you have to run into a brick wall every time. Show me something. Show me the skills are still there to some degree.
Well, and that's going to be it. As we look forward to Dignitas VIE, they've got to show up in the server here. They weren't really able to in Flashpoint 1. Flashpoint 2 is their new chance for some big money. Now, we are going to take a look at our leaderboards for our little Pinnacle points game that we had so far. Who is on top right now? Semler with a mighty 0 Pinnacle points.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Losing all your Pinnacle points. James Bardoff, who did put his points on both of the favorites yesterday, showing the wisdom, not going for the Hail Mary that we all went for on some of those 3-to-1 odds games. Potter, you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Speaking of Hail Mary, actually, I would have put it on this Dignitas match today. Those 5-to-1 odds, I mean, that's definitely the opening for me to take the lead here, but
yeah, you could really get yourself out of a lot of trouble even by putting just a few points on that one. So as we take a look at our Pinnacle predictions for today, we'll start with our odds, and these have been updated right before the map. We do actually, make our analysts, go ahead and predict prior to those maps. So these are going to be last night's odds. However, in the pregame, I saw those odds have been updated to over 5 now for Dignitas. So that's a flyer you might want to take, considering nobody's seen this roster.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not, like, as I say, people are going to think of that result yesterday in IEM of Fnatic losing to Mad Lions and, it's easy, it's just Mad Lions. But it's the odds that make it the interesting matchup. Like, unless you think Mad Lions is an overwhelming favourite. I mean, as Monty mentioned, in the green room, it was 5-to-1, roughly. So, like, basically, those odds are ridiculous. You have to really think the team has no chance, otherwise it might be worth a flyer. I think when I saw them last night, it was about 2 to 3-to-1 or something. So I just thought to myself, I think Mad Lions is going to win the series. That's why I'm taking them.
Yeah, you go ahead and check out pinnacle.com/flashpoint. We'll have the latest match odds up there right now. Dignitas, we'll see if anybody actually took that one. I am curious because that could be really a big mover in terms of our total leaderboard right now. Let's take a look at our overall predictions as we head into the match right now. Will be Anders and Semler here with their predictions up first to defend their choices. I shouldn't say predictions. I should say, are you going to be winning this game of Pinnacle points? Semler, you're currently at 0.
Well, I mean, if you've been following Blast, Monty, you know that I win predictions and dominate utterly.
We'll see.
So I thought that I would change things up here at Flashpoint and give them a little bit of a head start.
Nice.
Right? Just to make things interesting for me, even though I know the result.
I'm massively excited that everyone's focusing on Semler having 0 points because I had the same. So
yeah, no mention of Anders.
Amazing. Good stuff. I mean, there's nothing to defend when we don't have any points, do we? So, we can't really get worse, I suppose.
All
in
right.
some sense.
So everyone predicted Mad Lions. Yumi, who is our statistician, went big, 750. But you two, 500 and 250. So similar, not much skin in the game here for match one.
Not on this one, because I'm kind of on Potter's ship where I think it could break either way. I'm trying to take the safe bet, put a little bit of money on Mad Lions, but I think Dignitas could have a surprise for us today. I think it could be real fun. So I didn't want to take the risk on this one. I put my money or my pinnacle points in the next one.
For those who don't know how odds work, Yumi's bet in terms of going big there makes almost no sense because, first of all, it's not ironclad that Mad Lions will win. And if they win, he gets basically what he put in back, whereas he could have 3 shots at a team like Dig, essentially, and if he wins once, he's at the same position. So in that scenario, like he's actually saying, he's kind of like those Pinnacle interns. He's just telling you they're definitely going to win the game.
And you put 200 points down, but you are not allowed to put only 200 points. It should be 250 for you guys.
I noticed they put it on screen still.
Get him out!
Still put it on screen.
We'll adjust that later.
Check the count.
It's rigged.
I'm not in here, I guess, today. Freya and Maui Snake both at 500.
Yay.
Mr. James Bardoff, he did it. The
Bardoff.
Mad Lad, 400 points for Dignitas.
If Bardoff wins, he's already in the lead.
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah,
like,
no, that would be a pretty...
that would be like 2,000 points.
Oh, my.
That's awesome. Congratulations to Bardoff. That's
yeah,
cool.
good on him. Good on him. I like a little bit of
Yeah.
risk taking.
That's right. And besides, he's already in the lead, so he's just going to see if he can increase his lead even further. Should be fun, guys. Well, thank you very much, Pinnacle. We'll keep an eye on those leaderboards as we progress here through Flashpoint 2 at the conclusion of every week. There aren't many winners in Flashpoint 2. There's only the person who gets punished for losing. So we don't have a prize, but we will have a punishment for whoever is still at the bottom of that table as we end every week of our competition. So you can tune into the Sunday night blind spot, and we'll get it done there. Now, predictions from you, the fans. Are you smart? We're about to find out. 67% to Mad Lions. Seems about right. Dignitas roster. Know you got a lot of fans from the old NIP days there, but overwhelming right now in terms of Mad Lions favorites. We are going to head right into the match now for you guys, Anders and Semler, as we get into the action and we get to see Dignitas VIE's brand new roster.
Oh, yes. Thank you to the desk. And I think this could be a really interesting game. I think Mad Lions, I think just that, sort of like, 66 to 33 type odds that the community were predicting, I think is sort of reasonable.
I think so, too.
It's a best of 3 after all. And it's not like Mad Lions are just their regular selves either. So we'll just all have to find out. And it's going to be coming up right now. So if you are just joining us, big welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's Flashpoint 2. It's the second day. And we have Dignitas and Mad Lions starting out on Overpass with Dignitas VIE on the T side. Oh, what a shot to bring down Shush. Thank you, Forrest, for setting us off that nicely. Absolutely perfect.
And that's the reason why, Anders, that you don't want to be sleeping on Dignitas. You still have Forrest in the mix. The man, he just doesn't age, actually. He's still just the same age. He's remained the same age, and he's remained a god in CS for so long now. And while Heath and House are going to chime in, 2 kills of their own, clearing out this A site. Forrest there with the P250, keeping the flank off the back of him. A-Core still getting a kill, though, off of short. And so it's Refresh and A-Core, and now just Refresh in a duel with Forrest. Eventually gets that shot. And that bomb is not planted yet, Anders. There is still time for him to maneuver.
I was going to say, I made the assumption that it would be an instant bomb plant here, but I still think he is in a lot of trouble, and they're doing a smart job here not fighting him. The trouble for Refresh in this kind of a scenario is just finding out where people are and having enough time to also defuse without a kit currently picked up, which I don't know if there's one on the ground somewhere, but yeah, he's in so much trouble. Yeah, he spotted that one there. Not really going to help him. Goes to take a quick look, but yeah, I think they've still, even with the slow bomb plant here, done a fine job. Heath will take him down. Him and Holzerk with a double kill each, and Dignitas VIE off to a good start. That's really impressive. That shot from Forrest, that got me right in the zone. That's exactly what I want to see.
Yeah, had they lost that round, it would have been true disaster, Anders. That would have been a real struggle for him. But instead, it is going to be Dignitas picking up that pistol. And again, do not sleep on Dignitas. You've got firepower on this team. Halzerk and Forrest are the 2 guys that I'm really going to be keeping an eye on here. I think they can do some real damage. And then, of course, you have the rest of the team that are filling that out.
No, you're definitely right about that. MP9 on Refresh and a Scout on A-Core. And then Deagles on the rest. And they are all over towards long and restrooms, and looks like that's where Dig want to show up, and they're getting slaughtered. Oh no, Roy with 2 big kills, and refresh up close, helped by actually one of the flashbangs from the T side there. Heath now with a 1 versus 4, and this is everything that you did not want out of Dignitas.
No, that's some overpass. This is meta. Overpass meta. Because why? Dignitas win the pistol, they get the rifles, they think, okay, cool, we'll go over to long where we have an advantage with our rifles, long range, and we can bop their heads off if they peek us and all that. Mad Lions are 1 step ahead. They're like, cool, let's stack up close long with MP9s and just wait for them to come around that corner thinking they're going to be safe, and then it's a Deagle MP9 combo just waiting for them. So much firepower up close. You look at Pace. That could not have worked better for Mad Lions. That's called getting hard countered.
But I mean, a shocking lack of grenades to turn that corner, right?
Yeah.
Like that's
a
also
flash would have been nice.
Yeah, I mean they had one, but it did nothing at all. So really, really interesting. They definitely need to find a way to make sure they don't fall to that kind of a thing. They could have done a lot more, I think. So hard lesson, but it is at least learned early on in the match. 3rd round is here, and they've stolen an AK and the Galil. Actually, yeah, so they've got a big economic boost in this round, Mad Lions. If they can make it through this one, they should be in a pretty good position. Oh, but Harry picking up 1 kill there on Roy.
Yeah, already.
Oh, an A-Core. This is the kind of thing. I mean, this is mental. Just pushing up on his own with a scalp. He's got a little bit of backup here. He's going to be dead, but that's, again, the sort of stuff we expect from him.
Mad lad stuff. But it's kind of like semi-mad, not fully, you know, just going crazy just because he does have... The whole combo there is that A-Core draws the attention, Hooksy swings, and they try and crunch whoever's there in mid. Only problem is everybody from Dignitas is there, and now Hooksy's in a bit of a hammer and anvil kind of situation. He can fight his way out of it, though. Wow, oh, so close! They get the drop on him. He had a nade in his hand. That's so unfortunate.
But he did spot both, so that's why you could see right now Refresh is pushing out of B, because you know he's got them locked in there, and they're pushing on the other side. So actually the fact that he caught both is super beneficial to Mad Lions in this 2-on-2. 25 seconds, and I'm sure they must be communicating really rapidly right now, Shush and Refresh, because they have such a good read on what's coming here. Even if they give up the bomb side, it doesn't really matter. There's no way really the T side should be able to know that Shush is already walking up behind them, so should be an easy kill, and indeed the bomb is down, Freiburg falls, and now it's on Heath. 8 seconds, and I actually think, yeah, even if he got the kill there, it might have been tricky to get close to the bomb side and get the bomb down. So that's a lot of damage for Dignitas VIE, and they're going to be excited about that, but still not quite enough to make it a full success. A bomb plant, though. I wonder if they, even in a 2-on-2, if they had a bomb plant, if they wouldn't just go for a full invest.
I think half-5 like pistol Kevlar right now, if anything. But yeah, that bonus 800 across the board would be a difference for Dig.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not going to be the case. It's going to be a round of eco. Mad Lions going to get a chance to farm up. I like Mad Lions, though. I really appreciate teams that don't go too crazy with the MP9s and all that. Just throw 1 MP9 in there for your point man. If he gets in there, gets kills, cool, awesome. If he doesn't, it's not the end of the world. But these guys are buying rifles. They expect to just smash Dignitas in this round, keeping the 4 rifles alive and putting themselves in a position to just maintain, to really develop a strong economy going forward.
Nice shot.
That shot from Halzerk, though.
Oh, and he's
okay, then.
back at it again.
What is going on here?
He's just the leading player. This is now it really starts to look impressive, and now suddenly the damage that they're doing in these rounds will have a real impact. And we've got almost the same scenario, except now Mad Lions don't know exactly where the rest of Dig are, and there's much more time on the clock here. Refresh in the corner, whole sucker around, and he does not have armor. Well, he's going to go down immediately, I could tell. So a bit unfortunate. Forrest hoping that there was a long flank coming. It's not such a bad idea, but it'll be very tough for him to try and win this 1 versus 2, especially when if they find out where he is. Yeah, spotted out. Nice shot from Refresh.
Damn, nice shot from Refresh.
But that's still so good for Dignitas. That is absolutely worth it.
Yeah, you know, I really like if you're going to go for rifles, you need to kind of survive to make that work. And just peeking Halzerk over and over again and letting him hit these headshots is just bonkers. That's pretty brutal, and that is definitely not what Mad Lions were hoping for, because now that bank that they were hoping to start building just vanishes in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
And so now we're into a fairly even situation here between both of these teams. Full bot, both sides, decent nades, both sides. Not much money for both sides either, so this could still break either way at the beginning of this half.
It definitely could. Are they going to go boost up on? Yeah, up on the shelves. Roy looking You can make that jump yourself, but obviously it'll make noise if you do it, so that's why they're doing it slowly. You can either do it from the top of the stairs or from the middle of the stairs, which no one ever does for some reason.
Well, nobody. I mean, you don't jump on stairs, Anders. That's a good way to get hurt.
No, but it's also exciting, you know.
You live for that kind of adrenaline.
Yeah. Well, listen, I have plenty of legs and knees and stuff like that already not functioning, so I'll skip that one actually. But still, in the game, yes. Under a minute, they've been holding outside of B, and this is such a strange setup right now. There's 4 people leaning towards the restrooms and connector with only 1 person holding B. You're not going to see that very often from any CT side on this map. Almost always it's going to be more B heavy, and then you just rotate back to A if you need. A-Core going to be taking down Heath, and with Freiburg also gone, it's suddenly 5-on-3. They're still here and just not even being pushed away.
That's so cool. Using the HE to break the door as well. You're not going down there. Setting it up for the AWP. A-Core with his 3rd kill. That's Forrest out of it. And, well, if you peek into Halzerk now, Halzerk was ready for it. 2 players now on B because Hooksy rotated down from A onto that B site. Defense is here, and Dignitas just get worn away. 1 kill after another in this round. That is such a sick setup for Mad Lions.
Yeah, it is. I'm trying to think. It might be the kind of setup you want to do early in a half as opposed to later, because I don't know how many Molotovs they would have had on the T side, but usually if you have Molotovs, you can do a lot of damage to this kind of a double setup and connector. So maybe Mad Lions were just thinking about the grenade economy for the T side and thinking maybe that's why we're doing it now and not later, because it is risky to put people in that confined space. Here we go, though. Rush right through the tunnel. Flashbang is perfect. Refresh will actually get the kill on Heath, so that's sort of helpful, and the Molotov there will slow them down. They almost had the timing perfect. I think now they're going to be in trouble. They are lined up behind that, and the spray continues. Shush with a nice triple. Yeah, they just actually quad kill overall. They just needed that one bit of timing. If they could have got in with no casualties and without the Molotov, it would have been really cool.
I like that offset positioning from Forrest as well. Just off to the right a little bit. You know, that half step over makes it so that he's out of that line of fire. Worked out for him this time, but it is still Dignitas with a single round right now on the T side of Overpass. Mad Lions starting to get into that comfort zone. Curious. I mean, now it really feels like you're left wondering each round, what is it that Mad Lions are going to try this time? This time it's 4 players down on the lower side. Yeah,
which is definitely a more common setup, but again, the variability here is going to be hard for Dignitas to necessarily prepare for. You know, if they go look at the first 6 rounds and maybe including this one, the 7th here, they might just think, well, it's something different every time, and that's making it hard to really get a good read on what's coming, for sure. But yeah, the logic of this is that you can you can rotate up to that bomb site, right? Oh, the timing is so good for that boost, isn't it?
Bonkers! He makes it out as well. They don't get... I mean, that looked like there was going to be a trade for sure. That was so close. Forrest just barely off with the timing. Roya's alone up here. Had to get that kill. Halzerk will hit headshot for headshot. He wins out because he has the AK. And now the rotation has come through from Hooksy. He's up onto this A site. Going to be spotting that nade coming through onto it as well. But only a single nade? No. Now he sees 2. And that might be enough information here for him to call a rotation over.
Yeah, they are going to start to rotate even a 3rd man in. And Shushu's going to be showing up with a smoke as well. We'll see. 40 seconds. Still plenty of time here for the T side. A little bit of a spot. Nice shot from Forrest. It looked like he was walking while he was doing that. And Halzerk will take care of Refresh. And Dignitas finding a really great angle. Double kill for actually a triple in the round here for Halzerk. Leaving A-Core with the AWP and just, yeah, better run. That was a nice switch up. And it wasn't even... Wasn't even that elaborate from Dig, but it worked out really well. Yeah, and you can actually feel that grenade. Halzerk, oh, is he going to do it? It's coming right in. Is it going to land on him? Oh, it's so close.
What?
It's so close.
I hope that they check the demo after and he sees that he almost got that kill, just to be like, okay, it's worthwhile throwing that nade every now and again.
You know, in my many hours of running around on this map, I realized you can actually Molotov the A default plant from B. It's possible to do that.
Okay.
But it's not easy, but it is doable.
So how do you do it? Give it away. Give us your secrets, Anders.
You know where the sandbags are at the L bend?
Okay.
If you I think if you run from roughly that corner and sort of look straight up, you can look at the wall where Olofmeister had his infinite moment.
Yeah.
There's like a little gap, so you can throw it, but the trick is it actually blows up in the air, and it sort of like spreads onto the side. So like you can't get it landing on the side, but it has to. But if you get it close enough to those boxes, it actually works. So it's doable.
All right, guys, go test this out now. Send us a clip on the social. I want to see if any of you can pull it off.
This smoke that Hooksy just threw, that's going to land there. I had a way of blocking that with a Molotov as well, but they changed that. So at some point, Valve changed how Molotovs work, and no one said anything, and it's really confusing. Forrest goes down to A-Core. That was that one saved AWP. They had enough to buy. And Roy, he's going to win the battle against Holzerk. And suddenly, this round is looking incredible for Mad Lions. 5 versus 3 in the first, 10 seconds of the round.
Whoa! Looking like a little bit of a spray duel there. Freiberg, Heath, and Harry. Or Hera.
Listen.
We're calling him Harry.
It's going to be tough, isn't it? But yes, apparently it's what, like an...
It's a Hera. It's a Hera. It's just difficult to do that and still speak.
Yes.
Fluidly, right?
The Norwegians will have to deal with it. We're doing our best. All right. Just falling back, congregating on this side of the map, giving it up. I don't know. If they could win this battle against A-Core and Roy over here, it's doable. There is something to be achieved still for Dig if they can find a way through.
No, they certainly can. There's only 2 players on the A set right now.
Yeah.
They have that man advantage. If they go through together as a group and trade, they can definitely get into a winnable sit. Never mind. Through the smoke.
Why not?
Oh, the timing of that shot. A-Core, dude, if A-Core is just going to be, smashing today, this is going to get real difficult for Dignitas. It was mentioned on the desk. There's a lot of eyes on A-Core. He had a strong performance in Flashpoint 1, but he showed that he could be a little bit inconsistent at times. He wasn't always, showing up with that star level.
I'd love to see that replay from A-Core, the last kill.
It's just A-Core getting a nice clean triple in.
So this one is just timing. But this next one, I'm wondering, maybe we
get
don't see
wrecked,
it.
Anders. Get wrecked.
Because he did kind of wallbang him. Maybe it wasn't that special anyway. Yeah, I think A-Core might be one of my favorite players to watch in 2020 if I had to make like a personal list. Because I do just enjoy this style of Counter-Strike. Accepting all of the potential downsides, because there definitely are some. But just for me personally, I think it's amazing to see that just spray through now. Somehow the Galil wins out. That's interesting. Holzerk on the other side. But the aggression here for Mad Lions is really relentless. Hard to deal with.
I like it. Don't show respect. Who's the underdog here? Dignitas is clearly the underdog. You should be getting in here, and you should make it impossible for them to predict. A-Core just showing off now.
Yeah. And he was showing the gun barrel as well. Oh,
that's awkward.
He did check. You see him showing the gun barrel just to mess with him. He is an absolute troll. He's going to win that fight as well. 11-3 right now.
Dude, this is brutal, Anders. Mad Lions are just beating them up right now.
Yes,
it's like bullies in the schoolyard taking Dignitas' cookies or something right now.
Oh, here we go. Look at the production crew. All right, so it's just that was still pretty good. Took a little reaction there.
Shout out to production, Johnny on the spot with the replay.
Professionals on there. 10th round, and yeah, they are getting beat up a little bit.
What's going on here?
I'm guessing.
I don't see a technical called, or is it a technical called, or was that attacked? It might have been attack, and we didn't see the UI update. Okay.
Well, someone will find out for us.
It might be a good time. I mean, it could be a good time for a call, a tactical timeout right now from Dignitas to just slow things down a little bit. You just got styled on that round again, with the starting off with the wallbang kill, and then A-Core just kind of, solo farming you guys.
Yeah, especially this aggression is just, it's so relentless that it's hard to deal with. Look at how smart that is. The Molotov actually stopped Harry from moving further. So they threw 2 Molotovs. He pushed one of them out, but then he has to stop for the next one towards the playground, and then they just HE that. I mean, it's not like a round-winning move, but it surely is annoying when you're like, why am I getting red that much? More wallbangs are coming in, favoring still Mad Lions.
Filthy. Yeah, should be a shot for Shush. Hot sleeping. He's getting a little greedy. He wants to get in on this wallbang action. Misses his chance. And in the meantime, it's looking like a rotate back up towards a restroom, or at least they're kind of hoping that there's going to be some more aggression from Mad Lions there. Not the case, though. Mad Lions content to sit back on that A site and wait for Dignitas. They are aware now that this is just going to be that half-buy kind of deagle round coming in from Dig.
Yeah.
So we sit and we wait. 50 seconds. Spotted on long by the looks of things. Yep. There's one. Should have seen the second. Yeah, he heard the shot. A-Core needs to keep an eye on mid. That's your quadrant right now, dude. There we go.
Yeah, definitely important not to let them get too close either. Hooksy helping out, and it's a flawless round. And this is, I mean, this is really the main problem that they're facing. Because 8-2, it's not looking good, but you could make it back from here. The problem is really the money that's on the Mad Lion side is getting way out of control. So they need to find a way to bust that open. Holzerk has got an AWP. Now that, I think, is somebody to look forward to. That could be really fun to see him play with it. Because he's definitely not to be overlooked either. I'd love to see him try and take it to A-Core.
Where's our boy Ven? Why aren't we seeing Vendetta on the cams?
I don't know. He's probably got it turned off, hasn't he? He's just in his pajamas or something.
You need to see the NBA jerseys up on the wall and everything, right? He had all that going back in the day.
Yeah, I'm sure he still does.
Although, I wonder.
Oh, some nice counter grenades coming out this time. Mad Lions taking a bit of damage on Roy and Hooksy. And that will convince them to slowly fall back. That's a massive amount of success early on for Dig in this round. Just accomplishing that, just getting through this part of the map without losing anyone, at least for now. Or they're not going to fall all the way back. They're almost uniquely aggressive in being a forward team on the A side of the map. The last 10 games I've seen on Overpass from even higher rated teams than Mad Lions, people just give up on that part. They just almost, like, they sort of show up and they're like, we're sort of pretending, and then they just go fall back into A. Mad Lions are really keen on this.
They're not willing to back down. They know that they've got the heavier firepower, it seems. At least right now, I mean, it seems like they've just got the confidence in themselves. Let's keep in mind that they just took down Fnatic yesterday, Mad Lions, so their confidence is going to be through the roof as well just because of that.
Yeah.
I mean, Fnatic are not a team to be taken lightly.
They're leaving Holzerk here again. If he unscopes, Hooksy will surely hear it. But meanwhile, down at the B bomb side, this could be incredible. They have a push going. There's not many grenades to hold them back. 20 seconds as well. And yeah, Holzerk, he might get caught, but I still think this can actually work out. That's a good kill, but it's not going to save them the round. 16 seconds. Let's see what they've got here on the T side. They need to break through and get that bomb plant right away. Harry picking up a kill on Shush, and Forrest. Nice headshot to take down Refresh. And just like that, the bomb is down, and it's a two-man lead all of a sudden in favor of Mad Lions. A pretty good shot, and actually, if he wallbanged that, he could still get it. It's so close.
Man, A-Core is so clean with his opping. Just looks so smooth. But now it is going to be that hard rotate Hooksy heading on up, and it's looking like we're in a situation where we're going to get a save out of Mad Lions. 2v3 retake of the B site is not easy. A-Core, though, he's got $9,000 in the banking, so I guess he's just looking for another shot. There it is. Just takes Heap with him. Makes sure that, man, Dignitas can't catch a break. If they kept 3 alive, their bye next round would be pretty solid. Now, somebody's going to be forcing, and that's just nasty.
Yeah. Hooksy could still catch Freiburg. He's low on health. He's trying for it, but not going to happen. Yeah, but...
It's stressed out, crouch.
Yeah, exactly. It's tough to give up Holzerk on that AWP as well over on that side, but if it wins you the round, I mean, you have to say it's probably worth it at that point in time. That was very, very late, and Mad Lions just were not quite in position. And even if they were, I mean, again, Shush, who was sort of the first point of contact, had no grenades. Like, if he'd had that, which is hard to do at 20 seconds, but he could have definitely bought more time, right? So a bit tough on that one. Holzerk pushing right through the AK, turned for the grenades. Not going to catch anyone yet, but if he turns the corner here, A-Core's going to be there. And again, he does not miss many shots. Roy chiming in. There's going to be one there. A-Core. Oh, that looked like the bullet just disappeared.
What? Over the head, I guess. What was that about? Huh. Well, that's really unfortunate because that could have been a dominant performance there from Mad Lions on that CT side early on. Could have given them a 2-man lead. Now it's only a single-man lead. Still solid for Mad Lions, but Dignitas, if they group up and gather, it's looking like that's going to be the call for them. Refresh is taking advantage of this to push through Monster. They are going to be checking some of the angles here. Freiburg going to be coming over the top, and it's going to be a lot of bodies for Refresh to worry about. They check. There it is. 1 for 1. That's what he needed. spots the bomb and both remaining players for Dignitas. That's a lot of information gained for Mad Lions, but so early in the round with a minute left, it's not settled yet. Mad Lions, you can see, or Dignitas rather, they can rotate off.
Hope you guys noticed how they were smoking that monster tunnel to sell the idea that Refresh wouldn't be out there. What a cool play for Mad Lions. Yeah, that is, I mean, they did check Dignitas, so credit to them, but that is also just a nice little sweet detail, isn't it? A-Core pushed up again, missing a shot here will get him killed, and he will! Harry pushing right under. I mean, again, that we say it all the time, that is one of the dangers of having A-Core on your team. It is so good, but he'll do these things where if he's just back in the A-bomb site playing safe, you know, they probably win the round almost immediately. And that right there is definitely a risk. Cooksey already pushing out, realizing Harry's going to be the nice push coming in from him. Big double right here, and suddenly it is Mad Lions, a man down, and Shush, I don't know. Yeah, oh, he's instantly going to get taken down. Harry with a nice triple in this one. All of them really good headshots. That's an incredibly winnable round if they just, you know, played a normal round in that 3-on-2.
Right over. He's expecting them to come through connector. Yeah, clearly.
But I mean, again, if you're just playing a bomb side, they've just already won.
Yeah.
So that's the price you pay, and I'll happily pay it.
Freiburg will as well. He is definitely pleased with that result. 2 rounds in a row for Dignitas rather. Mad Lions are now going to be the ones on the back foot. Of course, they had monster money in the bank, so they are going to be able to full buy Mad Lions. Shouldn't be too much of an issue for them. And that is going to be really solid for Mad Lions, obviously, because if they have all that bank, they're going to be feeling good about the situation. They are going to tap a lot of it, though.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes a difference, doesn't it? Having a little bit to fall back on, yep. We'll see. Countdown is almost there, and again, 8-4. It's not looking so grim anymore. It's sort of doable. This is still, I think, a fairly CT-sided map if you know what you're doing. So I think Mad Lions are already comfortable where they are at the moment, but they have not really got rid of Dig yet. So we're thinking about 2. Harry showing up, looking for a quick spray down, and could have definitely had it. Look at Refresh and Shush, they're both really low on health. Some good grenades right here could make the difference. The Forest is the one to go down instead. Roy getting a second kill before they finally get rid of him, so huge output for him there in the connector. And A-Core sneaking in to try and take over with the AWP. Again, sort of dangerous to be here. Definitely close range, and if you miss a shot, you could well be going down. He's not checked behind him, and Holzerk and also Freiburg's walking up. He's going to catch Freiburg. That's going to be so annoying with the timing, because obviously they must have thought, well, that's it. He was the only one there. Now it's Holzerk 1 versus 4.
Oh, please just drop past this crosshair right now, Holzerk. That would have been sick.
Yeah, make the jump.
I thought he was going to do it, just YOLO. We get a skeet shoot there for A-Core, but A-Core is going to rotate over towards that A site once again. They're playing this safe. And, you know, as well they should, Mad Lions. If they keep 4 players alive here, that bank is once again restored on their side. And, yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Very well done. Some great discipline shown there at the end from Mad Lions, not getting ahead of themselves. And they continue to just extend that lead 9-4. Closing in on the end of the first half here. And their money is just phenomenal. They've got 2 rounds left, and they don't have to worry about ecoing. Whereas Dignitas, we can see here having to go for a half-buy, pistol, Kevlar, some nades. They can go for an execute here, so there is a little bit more of that, for Dignitas to work with here.
Yeah. I mean,
or we just go YOLO B.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to do that?
Davai.
Listen, they're coming for it, running through the smoke. Oh, with the grenade on top. They are absolutely devastated. This push is already over. Doesn't matter how much you scream Davai, Semler. they're already dead.
I feel like I'm playing matchmaking, you know. Harosh.
You know what?
I can't say the other things though. You know, there is a proven way to play matchmaking in Europe, and you say Harosh if they do good, and you say something else if they do bad.
Listen.
And it's perfect.
I've been telling you, I think, you know, if I was picking up a 3rd language, or a 4th maybe, if you count my absolutely broken German, it would be, it would probably, I feel, I'm leaning more and more toward Russian. I think it would be worth it.
You would learn Russian?
Yeah, I think so.
Is this so you could go back and read old copies of Pravda and stuff like that?
Just something about the humor in that region I think is funny. I think they're funny people, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, you know.
They definitely have not lost the tragic sense of life.
No, there's that sort of stuff going into it. I appreciate that. But listen, I don't think any amount of humor will save Dignitas at the moment. That's not, no. You can't kill them with laughter at this point in time. They need actual guns. And they do have them on the Dig side, so there's some positive. We're in the 15th round, and Mad Lions have got a really sizable lead. I still think 10-5 is sort of doable for Dignitas VIE if they want to come back, but Mad Lions are looking very comfortable on this map, and it's absolutely shining through. Also, the fact that A-Core is 17-4.
Yeah.
So,
can we actually go to Forest real quick? Because I'm wondering if like his choice of skins is a metaphor for where he's at right now. You know, the gloves, the rusty knives. You know, the beaten up, kind of worn out gloves, like he's been on the road for a long time, struggling to survive.
Forest.
It's battle scarred Forest. That's what I'm saying, dude. The AK doesn't really fit the narrative. I thought he'd have a cartel or something, but you know, the gloves and the knives. You know, I'm just sitting here like this Forest has seen some action. He's still in this fight. He hasn't given up yet, Anders. He doesn't say die easily. If there is one bullet left in that mag, he's not going down without a fight, right?
Look, but I mean, just saying that at the same time, he's got 5 kills. Freiburg's got 2. We need more. Listen, he started this whole thing with that great shot. My expectations were super high.
He did. But nobody's even broken double digits on Dignitas right now, so it's not like... But to be fair, you know, you got to be watching those guys. Those are the veterans. Those are the ones who should be smashed in face. Or when things get rough, you're hoping that they are going to be the ones who are there to lead the way.
Look at the clock, 25 seconds. What is this plan? I just have no idea. Again, any grenade that goes down, I mean, they have a Molotov still in refresh. That one could end the round almost right here for in favor of Mad Lions. Roy will go down. It's a pretty good start to the whole thing. Hooksy will help out, take down Hellcirk, but 10 seconds left, and they're still pushing onto the site. The bomb only just making it, and I think that's it. Nothing more. They did not leave themselves enough time at the end. So 11-4 at the end of the first half here. And it's going to be in favor of Mad Lions. An absolutely astounding performance at the end here for A-Core, 18-5. But yeah, they are so far ahead. It's going to be very, very hard to throw this lead away in the second half. We'll see if they can, though, after the break. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the second half, still the first map here, but day 2 of Flashpoint 2. And we've Dignitas and Mad Lions in a best of 3 right now headed into it. I think this is, still going to be an interesting game, but it looks like the momentum that Dignitas VIE needed in the beginning, they just never really got. And as a result, Mad Lions are up 11-4. They had a couple of breakout positions where they really, I think, could have got back in the game early on, and they just were completely denied that. A-Core here with the P250. He is still really sharp and accurate. You've got to be careful about that. Isolated, though, is Forrest, and he needs to hit the shot. He's going to get one. Holzerk also helping out. That is definitely a good, it was a long-range crossfire, but it worked out.
Worked out, but they do manage to restore it very quickly there, Mad Lions. And they still have 2 nades alive here. Well, 2 smokes. A couple of flashes on Hooksy, but the main thing here is that they still have their utility. And so definitely still a threat, especially with that P250 in hand here, Hooksy, looking for a shot. Yeah, not going to find it, but that is a little bit of information gained. Can they get onto a site, though? This is going to be so difficult. What does Heath manage to do here? If they go through these doors, he's going to be hard-pressed to survive this. He needs to trade 1-for-1 at least.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the name of the game. Oh, he's just looking. I don't know how he doesn't hit a headshot. He was right on. We need bullet traces or something. Freiburg, look at it, see if he can slow this down. Still 35 seconds. He's also being attacked from behind. It's a great shot from Freiburg. Very critical indeed. And now he's going to fall back and wait for his teammates, which is what he should be doing. Roy goes down and refreshes now with a 1 versus 2. And there's only 25 seconds, but a nice headshot. And now he's actually got a huge chance. And running for the A-bomb side is so smart. That is going to make it tough for Freiburg to do much of anything.
Dude, Freiburg, though, he's already in connector. He sees this coming. This is so sick. 10 seconds left and the bomb gets planted. But Freiburg, he's got, what, 5 health left, Anders?
Yeah.
How do you get in here? He's got a smoke and a kit. He's got a smoke and a kit. If he smokes the bomb and just sticks the defuse, YOLO, you got to get it.
So hard, isn't it? Yeah, he already got found. I don't know. He's got the smoke up, but refresh is not going to bite. He knows that he's not defusing inside. All he has to do is wait a little bit. And Freiburg now, yeah, he's going to go check and see if he's on the other side. But he's got the knife out. Oh, this is so bold. And there it is. Stabbing the legend. That is rough indeed. This young generation, they have no respect, do they?
What is even going on? What is even going on right now, Anders? Wow, such a tough break for Heath.
This is some real showmanship, isn't it? I think Freiburg got the knife out at the end as well. All right, well, if you are only now just joining us in the second half, you know what kind of game it's been. At least for now. 12-4, though. Mad Lions so well on their way.
Oh, there's the flash. Opening it up, quickly up. 4 players on the B side right now, however, for Dignitas. Or 3 with 1 in connector, rather. But the spot is there. Freiburg ready for him. Nice little HE just to dust up Hooksy. Hoping for a shot, but it's not quite there. Forrest, however, could be the one to really ruin their days. There we go. Forrest and Freiburg each finding a kill for Dignitas. And that's the bomb on short. There's no backing out now, Mad Lions. You've got nowhere else to go. You have to pick up that bomb.
Yeah, suddenly it got really awkward. It looked like they had the perfect timing to make that work, but somehow not quite working out that way. Deep Molotov should maybe put a little bit of pressure on, but Refresh is still cleaning them up, and now they need to slow this one down. Yeah, don't give this huge lead away. Hooksy ready and waiting with the MAC-10. That's an easy fight to win, and suddenly it's a 1-on-2. Harry now trying to see if he can get it done. He does not have head armor, so even the MAC-10s here are very dangerous. They picked up the bomb, and they were on the run, and he knows. Oh, they're so annoying to play against, aren't they, Mad Lions?
That's unreal that he gets through that door right in the split second before Harry can peek. No way. Oh, and if you're Harry now, like that's, yeah, your stomach just drops out. What are you going to do here? 1v2. You have to hope that you can get up here and have this be a 1v1.
Yeah, that is, and again, he doesn't have a kit. He doesn't have a smoke. They would have to make some pretty massive mistakes, like something like that. Yeah, that is absolutely not necessary. You could just peek it in a much more quiet pace and you'll be fine. Something like this, yeah. You just have to know that he's not on it for 10 seconds. So you've got a huge window to try and do it in. He's going to go for it.
I think he's got it.
Does he have it?
I think he's got it.
This is massively misplayed for Mad Lions. They had essentially won this round pretty much no matter what.
No way.
Oh,
no way.
It's going to be last second.
No way! .2!
Oh, man.
Oh!
I'm still going to chastise Mad Lions for almost screwing up this round needlessly.
You chastise away. But, oh, man. 0.2. That's just too painful. And, well, tactical timeout getting called here by Dignitas. And, well, I mean, what are you going to do? You've got 3,700 at most. Should definitely be some kind of half-buy scenario right now. Mad Lions are going to be fully bought up. They're not messing around. They're going to be just looking to smash and not let Dignitas get into this. But as I say that, Dignitas are playing for the win, Anders. They are not going to let Mad Lions try and force this in.
It's, yeah, I mean, I don't know. When you're this far behind, arguing over whether or not you should be saving another round and give them 14 and then get a better buy, or just, you know, having a couple of deagles connect. I mean, I don't know. Like, both are probably doable.
The key is to play perfect CS from here on out. If you're Dignitas, and you're on the CT side, so it is absolutely possible. T side could have been rocky for these guys. They could have been struggling. But they need to show that they have some confidence here, and they need to get in and fight Mad Lions early. Mad Lions expecting a hard eco. There's going to be barreling through all the nades, sailing in, lots of damage dealt, but no kills until Forrest chimes in with a beautiful headshot to kick things off. Roy is out of the fight. Harry still lurking around on this site, going to catch Hooksy out in the open. Not going to survive refresh, however, and this is still tit for tat back and forth.
Yeah, they really are just trading their way through. Again, once he's favoring Dignitas this time around, it should be looking good. Brilliant headshot to take down one, and Heath will be dropping refresh. So just like that, they pick up the round. Forrest with a triple kill, in fact. Really, really stepping it up, I would say, here at this point, Forrest, in the second half.
There you go, Anders. Right? This is definitely the way.
It's a nice start if you want to build a comeback, right? You've got to do... But as you said, like, it's got to be almost flawless from here on out. If they get that AWP on Hull Circuit, it would be an interesting change. I think it'll be very, very hard to not let Mad Lions get another 3 rounds at this point. Just
look at Forrest, dude. He's waking up. He's up to 13 kills now.
Yeah.
So he is he's starting to chime in a little bit here. He's starting to find those shots with those deagles, and well, now he's got an AK in his hand. So I'm excited to see what more Forrest can do for us here. But this is going to be the 4 spot coming out of Mad Lions. Very light on the grenades, but they've got the deagles, they got the Kevlars. Refresh ready to pop some heads with that AK. He was already beating up on some Swedes yesterday. Refresh had an insane performance against Fnatic.
Yes, I noticed that was going on.
I mean, it's been going on for centuries, Anders, but this was just the latest, I guess.
Latest iteration.
Danes and Swedes. Danes and Swedes.
Well, we are in the Midsommar group, aren't we?
Yeah, buddy.
Okay. So, a little bit of a counter flash coming out just to try and slow them down. 50 seconds. Holzerk, though, getting himself killed. That might not be the best move, and they're really far away down at the B bomb site. They're not pushing close to the connector. They're not close to any kind of a flank here. So this A defense has to work, or they're never going to stand a chance at all. Forrest out in the open. Great work with the AK. That is impressive, but again, he would have had to have done that twice more over for them to basically be able to defend the site. And now the bomb is down, and once again, Mad Lions just have to remind themselves about playing for time. That is what you want to do when you're up a man like this. And A-Core is already heard exactly where Harry is, so he's got some confirmation. And yeah, unfortunately, as cool as it was winning the last round, it should be done with here. A-Core messing things up a bit. Refresh will save the day, though. A bit scary, but yeah, that's, I mean, the hopes for Dignitas VIE just briefly like, yeah, no. No, just get smashed.
Oh, well. I mean, it's looking better and better here. Peacemaker just looking more and more confident. I mean, he's never one lacking confidence as a coach. He's just seen it all at this point. But for Mad Lions, it's just, I'm not surprised with him involved now that Mad Lions are doing so well. Clearly there's a system in play. Even losing Bubsky doesn't really seem like it's set this team too far back.
I mean, right now it's certainly fun to see them play still. I mean, I really enjoyed the original lineup, so I actually was a little bit upset that Bubsky had gone away. But
I'm sure Bubsky is as well. Don't worry.
Yeah, well, maybe. I think it'll be very hard to replace Bubsky as a player necessarily, but Refresh certainly is doing an amazing job, and it's not like Hooksy's dragging them down at the moment either. So I'm up for giving it a chance. I'm gonna be open-minded about this. Let's see. They have a little bit here. They are pushed up forward to try and see if they can catch someone out. going to be running right into it. You get the idea, right? The sort of the bait of Forest falling back and Holzerk being put into play, but with the weapons they had, maybe not quite doable. Freiburg with a nice headshot, looking for more, but he'll get eventually down by Refresh as well.
Freiburg with the Deagle's been hitting some shots at least. I mean, he's got 5 kills total, so it's not like a whole bunch of shots, but he's still, you know, he can get in there a little bit. I'm still just impressed with Forest, man. He just continues time and time again.
Yeah.
The guy's just eternal.
It's really, really cool to see, isn't it? But then again, I mean, no, Freiburg should definitely have more than 5 kills, but it shouldn't be on him, though, to be the main engine of these kills.
Well, he is the in-game leader now. It's just that I think in CSGO now, okay, this has turned into a 1v1. Heap and Refresh, dueling it out. Let's see if it... Oh, well, there's that Molly. Just going to buy a little bit more time. Heap hasn't even tapped the bomb yet, though, and so Refresh currently wondering, which is it going to be? Refresh gets the job done, takes Heap out of it. All right, but I think when you have guys like BlameF, you know, Glaive, it just feels like now in-game leaders have to frag almost as hard. Like, maybe not as hard, but almost as hard as the other players.
Yeah.
Or you're just going to be at too big a disadvantage now. And so I think there's a lot of pressure on Freiburg. Sure, he's calling the shots, but he also needs to be getting some kills here.
Yeah, you're right. We definitely are just seeing many, many more in-game leaders that are very, very good on all fronts, pretty much. 15-5. We've had some very one-sided opening games. We had that yesterday going on as well, and it didn't always become you know, a vector for the rest of the best of 3. Could definitely go another direction, but yeah, I think things are looking just fine for Mad Lions. There's nothing really. There's a couple of small things that I've been unhappy with, but they are really small things.
I think they're just so confident. That's the main thing. They're just getting in there. CT side was non-stop aggression. Not missing shots, just getting in, playing aggressively, setting up, not letting Dignitas get into their game at all. And here on the CT side, I mean, it feels like it's more of the same. Mad Lions have just not been afraid. Called a few rushes, just really making it very difficult for Dignitas to hit any kind of stride. It is looking like it is going to be more B-side pressure, though.
Yeah, and they're not ready for it either. It's going to be hard to hold this one. They've got a FAMAS and an MP9 on the other side, but once they come through, Hooksy might get caught off guard. Could have been dead right then and there. Forrest does get taken down, but yeah, again, like, how do you stop so many people coming through with this weaponry? This AK's on the other side. They're doing a good job right here. Oh, and Heat was going to drop as well. That's still not so bad. I actually thought they'd get slaughtered maybe a little bit earlier. Now it's a 2-on-3 and 25 seconds left.
There we go, Halzerk. This is still definitely doable here for Dignitas with the early rotations. Freiburg gets another kill with the Deagle. Just put a Deagle in this guy's hands. He's too good with it. Another 1v1, though, and Acor, the beast, the monster for the Lions. He's just been doing so much work, but not this time. Not expecting Halzerk to be facing him. And with 8 seconds left in the round, it is done. Dignitas survive another one. Hold on to that AK. And, well, Mad Lions, after that round, it's they don't have a whole lot in the bank.
No, they don't. So, you know, put on a bit of a cooldown here. Some good counter flashes coming out. Assistance from Freiburg there. That definitely makes things a little bit easier as they're coming through the smoke. But imagine the scale of the comeback to make this. You need 9 rounds in a row, 10 if you count the last one there. Does not seem that doable.
That was the sound of the spanking.
Yeah, oh, Fuxi looking for more. Refreshes there.
Oh!
Trouble, but yeah, I mean, he took a lot of damage still. But a 2-on-4 now all of a sudden. I think even Dignitas at this point are thinking, can we just play that next map on Nuke, please?
Oh, man. This is just brutal. They're hitting all of them, and now Freiburg up close with the MP9. He can do some serious damage. They're stacked up. He's going to get 2. Looking for a 3rd. Doesn't quite manage it. And Forrest now in a 1v2. Shush and Roy going to dance with the bearded one. But Forrest is rotated down. Bomb is going to get planted. Post-plant is going to be nasty, though. He knows where one of them is, obviously. On this. What a shot from Shush. Yeah. Okay, then. 16-6, the final score on the first map of this series. That was brutal.
Yeah, that was, I mean, it's hard for Shush to get that shot as well, but just all Mad Lions all the way through. They played this game so well that, yeah, it's going to be tough, I think, for Dignitas VIE to come back in that second map. Nuke definitely, you know, might be a little bit more in their camp, but I still imagine that they're going to be they're hard pressed to make this work. The Danish lineup are looking really strong at the moment. So we'll see how it goes. That will be coming up after the break, so stay tuned.
You know, Thorne and Potter, I've been to quite a few zoos in my life. I've even been to Africa twice, been on safari in Kenya and Tanzania, and I still hadn't seen a lion play with its food up until this point in time in this very match. It really did not look particularly competitive from the Dignitas VIE side, and also it did seem like Mad Lions were having a few giggles along the way.
Well, maybe the thing is the Mad Lions guys had to be a little bit tentative because obviously some of that meat has gone well off its sell-by date. Like, I'd stay away from that. It's probably not good for you. No, the problem is, like, remember, this was Dignitas' map pick. They were dreadful on the T side. They started on the T side because that's what's going to happen if you play Overpass against someone. So essentially, you're meant to come out of the gate with your best stuff. That's where we should be seeing what you're capable of. And it's not like, oh, we only got one round at the end. Like, they had the start that you want. In theory, everything should have been there.
They won the pistol. They had the first 2 rounds. Yeah.
Oh, man. Dignitas, yeah, it's going to be pretty tough for me to put a positive spin on this one. It was wonky. It was wonky. Not only was their game plan a bit wonky, but their spacing was wonky. The T side, how many members of Lions was able to just mow them down, get a multi-kill? The choke points, I'm not sure if this is a role crisis identity or not, but there were members of Dignitas that seemed really kind of timid, not willing to be the first one into the sites, because you saw Dig getting close to those bomb sites, especially towards A. They were making it close to the dice box, close to the truck every time, but at that point, the tense points, they failed.
And remember, 2 of the people we were selecting on the Dig side, let's have a look at them, is the guy swapping from being the entry fragger to the IGL, it's Freiburg. He was really dreadful. He had a very, very poor game. He got a couple of kills towards the end to pick it up, but that first half was a nightmare for him. And then Heap making it look like in some sort of hilarious twist, what happened was the Dignitas CEO told Flaren, you're just going to have to get some cheap players, and he just misheard.
Damn. So no bright spots for the C.R.A.E. and Heap in their first match.
Well, give C.R.A.E. like that 1v1 he won. I mean, listen, Huxley semi gave it to him, but he was unlucky not to win that. It was just timing on that one. So I thought there was a couple of bright spots for him.
Yeah, some unlucky timings, and especially, look, this Overpass was a bit wonky. I think it was a gamble coming out of Dignitas. I believe this was the first time that they picked it. We don't have that much information, but certainly Overpass isn't a map that a lot of teams have as their home map pick. We're going on to Nuke now. So as I mentioned in the pre-show, although Dig are on the back foot right now, both of these maps in this veto, at least on paper, they have the edge. They're absolutely familiar with Nuke. Nuke is Force's best rated map, and he's also got my favorite position, at least, is that second rotator from outside to connector. He's got a high fragging, high traffic area as his role. So that's my positive spin, is that Nuke should look different for Dignitas.
I'll just say this. All I'll say is I looked this up. This lineup of Mad Lions, even though it feels like they've got together yesterday, that gives you time to play 7 tournaments in Counter-Strike. So they've actually already played Overpass something like 3 or 4 times. The only time they won it, they lost every other time, Mad Lions. The only time they won this map was against XSNs, the former team that Huxley and Refresh just left and who've essentially had to replenish. So that's not a great lock if essentially, I'm guessing it was a punish pick as a result. So that's why I think Dig did it. So if that's what they had in the locker there, Nuke is a much more even map. Yes, it's historically a map some of them have been very good on, but I'm going to need to see the best of Dignitas.
All right, well, we do have Freya ready with Vendetta, the coach of Dignitas VIE right now, to talk us through that first map.
I am indeed. I'm on the clock here with Vendetta. We've got 60 seconds to be breaking that last map down. However, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. Can you tell me what some of the issues were for your squad on Overpass?
I mean, initially we get off to a good start with winning the pistol round, but then we run into a gamble stack on long. We mess up one of our flashes and we pay the price. So we never get into our flow on the T side. We never get into a position where we can actually disturb their economy, which takes A-Core off the off. It doesn't allow for Roy to necessarily be as aggressive. And Roy was, an additional problem. We weren't able to actually deal with the fact that he was constantly taking us out and we were not getting efficient trades in Underpass. Outside of that, that in itself kind of messes up the game for us. So we're not too worried. We're not dejected by this. We're still going into a map that we feel extremely confident on. So just have to shape up.
Well, so very quickly, we're obviously moving on to Nuke very, very shortly. So what should we be looking out for from Dignitas going into it?
Just a much better version of ourselves. Overpass right now is not indicative of how good we are as a team.
Well, thank you so much, Howard, for taking the time to chat with me. We're going to head it back over to the desk as we break our second map down.
Thank you, Freya and Vendetta. I was going to say, hey, there's a little bit of a silver lining. Yesterday, we saw some very one-sided games that turned around. However, when it came to Force and MIBR, they were going into their map picks, and that's not going to be the case here. However, Vendetta's still confident, and you guys confident as well, that Nuke is still going to be an okay matchup here for Dignitas VIE.
I think this could actually be a fun matchup. Like, it's one where, again, Mad Lions still untested somewhat as a squad. They've played a few tournaments. It is historically a map that's just comfort for some of the Dig players. Also, historically in Counter-Strike, actually, Nuke used to be called the Swedish map. It's the one that they all know how to play. I will say, though, if it's actually a bad game and I have to see a third game of Dignitas playing, that's going to be more annoying than that ticking sound on that clock. And I'm just going to say this. I wish, just like that interview format there, that Dig could give me the greatest performance of the career of Nicolas Cage, gone in 60 seconds.
Wow, well done, well done.
Jesus. Okay, I'm focusing on, the Lions, we've seen it, as you said, Thor. Sure. They've played Nuke a couple times. Hoochie is actually, I think it's probably his best
name, Hoochie?
Hoochie Mama?
Hoochie Mama!
Hoochie Mama?
There we go.
I don't know.
That's a segment. We'll work on that. We've got a green screen.
But Hoochie, he looks the most comfortable on Nuke. Since joining the squad, he's calling very well on the T side of things. But that information, Vendetta, he knows it, right? I'm looking straight at Heath and Halzerk. I think their synergy towards that ramp, it's not quite there. Halzerk is surprisingly fairly quiet so far in these big matches, these matches that matter a lot. So Halzerk, he's going to have the looks towards ramp. He's going to have the looks towards outside. But his communication, his synergy has got to be on point, especially with Heath.
All right, well, let's take a look at some of A-Core's highlights, at least from the last game, because he was one of the players that we really wanted to take a look at. And he was pretty darn good on the op overall. He and Refresh popped off.
I actually think Anders nailed it in the cast. It's like you saw the highs of A-Core. Look how aggressive. He's on his own, by the way. He hasn't got people backing him up. He hasn't got someone distracting. He's just fragging them all. Because remember, he feels like he's the best player in the server. But you did also see other times where he would also be on his own, aggressively positioned, instantly killed. It was a little bit up and down, but listen, we're against this level of competition. I expect A-Core to farm them here.
And I like the fact that I saw A-Core going for those risks, you know? You saw his personality coming out. I mean, he was styling, he was jiggling, he was showing just his op barrel. For a player to be able to make moves like that in 1 versus 3 scenarios, he's feeling good. He's feeling himself, absolutely.
Making questionable moves, being aggressive, feeling himself, Danish. What is this, Anders from 4 years ago? Jiggling.
Slamming Swedes.
Jiggling.
Listen.
All right. Well, we do have some updated Pinnacle odds for you guys to look at when we go into map 2 right now. They were long to start off with, even heading into the Dignitas map pick straight off the bat. So I'm sure we'll get those updated odds to you guys in just a second. Here we go. And they have gotten longer than when we started this series by just a little bit. 4.17 to 1.24 for Mad Lions. Dignitas VIE still confident on that nuke pickup. We've seen teams turn it around, go from the getting absolutely trashed to actually winning these maps. People say it's easier to pick yourselves back up online than it would be at LAN.
Well, the key thing for me is I'm assuming this is one of those lines that actually just reflects where the betting's gone. Like, people now are just saying, right, Mad Lions all the way. But the irony is, actually, this is probably the map where Dig actually has an outside shot. Like, I wouldn't say it's almost that, like, well over 3-1. I think that's probably a bit unreasonable. So actually, if you feel like you think the Dig guys are in with it, not bad odds to do a cheeky little side wager.
I mean, they did perform, again, different roster, but the core of this roster did perform pretty well in terms of Flashpoint 1 on this particular map, because even though they didn't necessarily have the mechanical outplay, their set plays, their flashes, their utility was on point on this map in particular.
Exactly, and as I mentioned before, now their strat book, it's been expanded. Now they don't have to just resort to those more passive, timid plays where they have to rely fully focused on the utility. Now they've got the firepower, theoretically at least, on paper, to be able to be a little bit more risky. And we didn't see it on Overpass, unfortunately.
Whenever I see this split screen, I wonder why I don't have the capability to cut their mics if they start talking too much. It's a new thing I've heard. Everyone's loving it. So.
Yeah, you know, I just try and let you guys talk. I'm not one of those interrupting guys, as it were.
Okay. Not the sort who do intros and, you know, have cool haircuts and stuff. Whatever. New generation.